San Francisco is the primary geographic hub for the current artificial intelligence boom. Within a few square miles, the city hosts the labs, hardware engineers, and developers responsible for the industry's rapidly expanding valuation. The localized numbers are significant. OpenAI and Anthropic, the two leading AI labs, are based in the city and hold a combined valuation of nearly $2 trillion. Nearby are 91 other AI unicorns, private companies worth over $1 billion each, representing another $600 billion in collective value. However, the capital concentrated inside these offices does not match the fiscal health of the municipal government outside them. While private wealth reaches historic levels, the city itself is facing a mounting financial crisis. This diagram shows the gap between corporate paper value and local reality. At the top, we see that $2.6 trillion valuation. At the bottom is the city's ledger, facing a $643 million budget deficit that just cost San Francisco its AAA credit rating. In early April, the mayor began laying off municipal employees to cut costs. Historically, resource booms have enriched their local economies by distributing capital through infrastructure and services. The AI boom, by contrast, is localizing wealth within a narrow corporate tier, leaving the broader city as an economic laggard. High-end real estate is often cited as a sign of a healthy local economy. In San Francisco's most expensive neighborhoods, near the Golden Gate Bridge, bidding wars for mansions continue, and the average price of a home in the top 5 postcodes rose by close to 10% over the last year. But these purchases are often driven by global investors, rather than local AI founders. In 2024, Laurene Powell Jobs paid $70 million for a property on Billionaires Row, and foreign governments have recently spent millions on large local estates. This demand for luxury property is a broader trend seen across the country. Markets in the Hamptons and Aspen are showing similar or higher growth, driven by a strong stock market rather than the specific influence of the AI industry. When you look past the most expensive zip codes, the market looks much softer. Adjusted for inflation, the average home across the metropolis is worth 15% less than its peak in 2022. In neighborhoods like Soma, near the financial district, the correction is even more severe. Real housing prices there are nearly 40%. Because this mansion boom is isolated to a few streets, it fails to generate the broad property tax revenue necessary to support the city's wider municipal services and infrastructure. The disconnect extends to the labor market. Despite the city's reputation as the AI capital, the average tech worker faces increasing job insecurity. This is partly because the AI sector represents only a small fraction of the city's total tech employment. The sheer number of employees needed for AI research is dwarfed by the workforce required for traditional software and systems design. While AI is growing, the foundational tech sector is shrinking. Employment in computer systems design in the San Francisco area has fallen by 13% from its 2022 peak. For most local engineers, the growth in AI is not yet large enough to offset these broader losses. Legacy companies are also leaving the city to reduce costs. eBay recently announced the closure of its San Francisco office, following a trend of tech firms moving operations out of the high-cost downtown core. High valuations for AI startups effectively mask this wider contraction. The loss of these established tech roles is hollowing out the middle-class tax base that once supported the city's budget. The combination of tech layoffs and a falling housing market physically changed the city's commercial center. Currently, nearly 35% of all office space in the city is vacant. This lack of occupancy has long-term implications for the city's property tax revenue. Local businesses are struggling as a result. Downtown foot traffic remains a third lower than its pre-pandemic levels, leading to a steady decline in sales tax receipts from commuters and office workers. As the cost of living remains high and traditional tech opportunities decline, people continue to leave. The San Francisco metropolitan labor force shrank by 1% over the past year. These empty offices and missing workers are the direct cause of the city's fiscal gap. Without the daily circulation of capital from a broad workforce, the city cannot generate the revenue required to balance its $643 million deficit. With the broader tech sector in decline, San Francisco's financial stability now depends almost entirely on its ability to retain its small number of high-net-worth AI executives. This stability is threatened by a potential state tax increase. A ballot initiative could levy a 5% tax on the net worth of California's billionaires, which may encourage the city's wealthiest residents to relocate. Furthermore, the city's complex regulatory environment continues to impose high costs. Local businesses frequently cite the city's network of inspectors and commissioners as a significant hurdle to remaining in San Francisco. Because the city's tax base is concentrated among a few individuals, their departure would leave the local government with few options to bridge the gap in its budget. If the revenue from the AI elite disappears before the broader economy recovers, the city's financial foundation faces a total shortfall. Hosting a $1 trillion industry on paper is only valuable if a city can translate that success into a functioning economic ecosystem. Without a broad base of workers and taxpayers, the world's AI capital faces an uncertain future.